What's up, guys and girls? Good to see you tonight on the Speak and See Show. I ask you to like, subscribe, click that notification button so when I get information out, you can get information in. It has been a while since I've seen you. 5 days as far as I've last checked on my YouTube channel. But it's so funny that it seems like I'm getting more subscribers now than I was when I quit doing videos, or than I was when I was doing videos. It's like, aren't I supposed to get more subscribers when I'm doing more videos? Well, in this case, it was like my view time's up, my subscribers are up, everything seems to be going up for some reason. And when I haven't done any videos on the SBA, it's weird how the YouTube algorithm will just change things around on you. And also, it's weird how the YouTube seems to suppress the views of a certain side of the political spectrum on parties if you're not saying exactly what they want you to say. Because we've been talking about the SBA EIDL grants and loans for the last year and a half now, and it seems like the more we come against when the government is doing something wrong, unless it's the Republicans doing something wrong, then we get more views. But if we come against the Democrats that are doing something wrong, then they seem to ghost our channels a little bit. So we've seen a little bit of playing with the algorithms on the YouTube channels, and it is what it is. We're going to continue to speak the truth here no matter what it takes, no matter if I only get one view. If I only get one view, but I've spoken the truth and I can live with what I've said, then that's good. And I hope that everybody out there is doing wonderful and is had an awesome Thanksgiving. We want to say go Bucks, as the Bucks have won once again to take the lead in their division, which is great. Great for you. We see the Dallas Cowboys up in their division too, so good for Jason McElhone. Maybe his Cowboys can get there and we can take on the Cowboys once again this year and defeat them again. Go Bucks. And go Lightning too. Well, anyway, guys, I would just like to say right now I'm just going to go over the SBA's program right now as far as what they're doing. We know that the deadline is coming to an end for those people out there who are trying to get that SBA loan and grant. If you haven't filed for the SBA loan or grant, you can file now. You've got until the end of the year to file for the loan. You've got up until December, I believe it's the 11th, to file for the grant, the EIDL $10,000 grant that they were giving away for businesses. If you're located now in a low-income community, which didn't seem to be an issue to begin with, but the Democrats went ahead and threw that on us after we elected them in, or somebody elected them in. I'm not sure who, but if you did. Okay, let's go over these. We're going to go over what the Biz Journal had to say today about the EIDL grants, and we will go from there. The last remnants of the SBA's once dizzying array of COVID relief programs are coming to an end, and the deadlines for Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program and its related cash grants are imminent. Once dizzying array of COVID-19 programs. Yeah, I was there. The SBA reiterated those deadlines in guidance it issued on November 19th. Small business owners have until the end of 2021, December 31st, to apply for the EIDL and $10,000 targeted EIDL advance grant. Applications up until that deadline will continue to be processed until the agency runs out of money, the SBA said. Oh, that's a Merry Christmas. Okay, you've got up until the end of the month. Oh, and by the way, we're going to take the last 2 weeks of December off, probably for our SBA Christmas holidays for anybody that's working in that area. Well, that's really, encouraging to us small businesses who are looking to get that money when we know nobody's going to be working on it because you guys are going to either be on vacation or say, hey, I don't have to process it now. We can just tell them that the time's expired on our EIDL grant. I mean, this is just cheesy way out. But the $5,000 supplemental targeted EIDL advance grants, which are for small businesses of 10 or fewer employees that suffered major losses during COVID-19, has an earlier effective deadline. While the SBA can continue to process those applications up until the end of the year, it cannot process any after 2021. Oh, let's just take the $5,000 EIDL grants right off the table. That'll give the United States of America an extra $25 billion to put into whatever they want, but not you. The agency has suggested small businesses apply for those grants, which are only available as follow-up grants to those who had already qualified for a $10,000 EIDL advance by December 10th in order to maximize their chances of being approved before the program shuts down. The end of 2021 deadline also applies to any appeals or reconsideration requests made by small businesses in regards to their EIDL. According to the SBA, small business owners have 6 months to appeal a rejection from the EIDL and 30 days to ask for a reconsideration of a declined appeal. A deadline for appeals. A deadline for appeals? So if I appeal because they were wrong, they give me a deadline because they were wrong? So they're on a timeline because they're acting like we're not. However, there is one wrinkle among the various deadlines for the EIDL program. Small businesses are allowed to request an increase in an existing approved EIDL for up to 2 years from the origination date, as long as there's money left in the SBA. Oh, okay, so if you've already got an application in, you can continue to go through this reconsideration process as long as they have the money in there. So as long as they don't run out of money, this is going to be great. We can go through reconsideration for the next 10, 20 years. The COVID Economic Injury Disaster Loan, EIDL, and EIDL Advance programs still have billions of dollars available to help small businesses hard hit by the pandemic. More than 3.8 million businesses employing more than 20 million people have found financial relief through SBA's Economic Injury Disaster Loans, said Patrick Kelly, Associate Administrator for SBA's Office of Capital Access. Key enhancements have been made to the loan program that will help our nation's business recover and get back on track. I love it when the SBA gets to interview themselves. When they get to say something out there that's like how great we've done, how wonderful I've done. We got 30% of the money we had to loan out there. That's a 30% of my grade. I give myself an A. Let's try to make a good thing out of this, even though millions and millions and millions of small businesses have been put out of work, have been put out of business, don't have food to feed their families, don't have ways to pay their rent. Even though all that, we're still good. Among those enhancements is that small business owners can apply for EIDL loans of more than $500,000 and up to $2 million. The long-anticipated increase in loan limit was part of the package of changes the SBA made to the program. You want to talk about changes made to the program? Well, we didn't know about this change, but that policy map, what a change that was, because as long as you're telling us that you've supplied all of this money to all of those businesses and how great you've done, how about telling the people that what you did was had a Democratic Party run on an issue for small businesses, that they're going to get this $10,000, and then said, wait a minute, only if you live over there, or only if you live over there. Oh, and by the way, when's it time for voting for the Senate? Because I think there's going to be a lot of votes lost on this one. I think that's what lost Virginia. That includes tweaks of affiliation rules, expanded loan opportunities for larger businesses, and perhaps most importantly, an expansion of what loan funds can be used for. EIDL proceeds originally could not be used to pay down debt, but now small business owners can make debt payments, pay deferred interest, and even prepay certain kinds of debt. Thanks for giving us a loan that we have to pay back with interest and telling us where our best interest is that we can use it for. That's privilege? Since the program first began in early 2020, the SBA has approved more than 3.8 million EIDL for more than $302.4 billion, according to the SBA data as of November 25th, 2021. The agency has also approved 297,000 targeted EIDL advance grants for roughly $4.3 billion. That is just a tiny fraction of the $4.3 billion. Oh, that's just a tiny fraction. That's just a tiny fraction of it. But you're not going to get the rest. We're going to keep the bigger portion for ourselves. That is just a tiny fraction of the $30 billion Congress approved for $10,000 grant program. And while early data showed enormous need from small businesses for the grant program, a stipulation that businesses must be located in a low-income area has dampened its utility. That requirement has left small business owners outside those borders frustrated, even if they initially received a partial grant in 2020. You think that kind of ticked us off a little bit? Where you said you're going to give us $10,000, apply for this loan. Now we have to take the loan because we're broke, because you shut us all down. And now you're not going to give us $10,000 because our business or is not located in a certain area because, I don't know, I guess COVID didn't hit certain areas. I am so wondering where is the thinking of this controlling force that this Congress has finally grabbed a hold of and saying, we're going to give it to some, but not for others. Whatever happened to, we're the equal opportunity party. We're the party that says, whether you're here or there or everywhere, we're all one and we're all united. What happened to that? It just went away after the elections in November of last year. That has the big asterisk against it. Yeah, we're frustrated. The SBA has also awarded roughly 398,586 supplemental targeted advance for nearly $2 billion. But there could be more funding on the way. The SBA would get billions of dollars in fresh funding to bolster existing loans and grants and create a slew of new programs as part of a newly revamped Build Back Better legislation being debated by Congress. The legislation, the center of a months-long high-profile fight amongst Republicans and Democrats and within the Democratic Party, would also create universal preschool, extend a child tax credit, and provide hundreds of billions of dollars to combat climate change. I love it. I love the way the SBA says, wow, well, we're going to do more funding is on the way. So the small businesses are like, oh, great, more funding's on the way. Then why are you taking the funding that is now? Because there doesn't need to be more funding on the way if you would give us what is in there now. Why does there need to be more funding on the way? Hold on. Wait, there's more funding on the way. Okay, there's more funding on the way. But the funding is going to preschool and child tax credits and billions of dollars to fund climate change. So here I go. I want to ask you, Senator Cardin, for example, I'll use you for example since you're going to be voted out. My business is going under. I'm on my last leg, and I don't have money to pay my food or tax. And Cardin looks at you and goes, business, and I'm the head of the Small Business Committee on Entrepreneurship, along with Nydia Velasquez. Hey, Nydia, isn't the weather a little bit different than it was in 1973 today? Like we care about the weather right now? Climate change is one of the worst things that happen to small businesses. And that's where my vote's going to go. What it does not include are any renewals of large-scale grant programs industry groups have been pushing for, such as more money for the Restaurant Revitalization Fund, although Congress may consider a separate stimulus bill after it's done with this one. We'll think about it. Let's take care of the climate change in the Build Back Better program with all these other added things that nobody really needs, and we'll think about the restaurants that we shut down and said, see you later, you gotta go, we don't care about you right yet. And of course, you can live another year or two, or till the next election in November, until we can get you something, because we need billions and trillions of dollars to combat climate change. Is anybody buying this? I don't think so. But then again, I have been wrong on what people view as reality or the metaverse on politics. And what we need to do is hold our officials accountable. If you're still in here watching these EIDL loan program updates, it's probably because you went through hell trying to get that money and you finally got it, but you do understand that there's a million other small businesses out there that are going through what you went through before you got your loan, before a little bit of tension was eased up on your life. There are still small businesses out there struggling. There are small businesses that are losing their jobs. They're losing their employees that just don't have the money to pay their rent. They're going out of business. That's a shame. It's a crying shame of what the people have had to go through. And if you're still watching this, thank you so much for your support and all the small businesses. We're going to hang together. We're going to stay strong with numbers. I'm just ranting and raving about politics right now because the politicians have come to a new metaverse, which is not a reality of what small businesses are really going through. They think they can just throw money to who they want to and not the whole, all American small businesses as a whole. And that really disturbs all small businesses because we're a unit. They just don't realize how close we are in family and friends, and that we are neighbors with one another. So when one of us are getting something and the other people across the street are not getting it, we're seeing people go out of business. We've seen it for long enough, and we're going to do something about it come election 2022. I hate to say it, but these Democrats got to go. They're taking our freedom, they're taking our rights, they're taking our money, the money that you are paying for, and they're making you feel like they're doing you a favor. That's not it. That's not how this thing works. And we're going to prove it to them. We're going to bring this party back. We're going to get our control back. We're going to bring the power back to the people, to the small businesses, to free enterprise in the United States, because that's what this country is made of. it ain't made up of legislation. It's made up of hard work, determination, or as the Penguins would say on Madagascar, it's made of grit, spit, and a whole lot of duct tape. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I love you all. I wish you all very Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving. We'll have more videos before then, and I just want to say, somebody say, hey, I want my 10K. Still.
Yeah.